Hello there and welcome back to the House of Monkeys. It's January, the transfer window is open and we are 6th in the table at the end of the last episode. So a lot to play for that easily slide up and down the table as it's so close. And these are the fixture lists for January: Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs twice, Sunderland, Newcastle and then Aston Villa. So quite a chop January in terms of games, and I'm quite happy with how the squad's looking at the moment. We've had a few bids already coming in for some players, but I don't want to chop or change anything at the moment. I'm happy with how the team looks. Still got a bit of wage budget that we can play around with, and I think our transfer budget is spent, but I'm still looking. It's always one of those that, how do I strengthen the team? Been looking at a right winger, been looking at a left back, as there are a few areas that I feel like we need to strengthen in terms of the backups. I could strengthen the backups more over the summer once we've got our summer transfer budget back. And yes, I had a look at Jacob Bright in the summer, but I forgot to take him off the shortlist. So yeah, I think during the summer you get much more players in that pool. So it's for January, for now, it's trying to keep hold of the players, and I don't see me bringing anybody in. So it might be a bit quiet in terms of that aspect. But I'll show you the games. So we kicked off against Liverpool, who are high flying, and they're around the same sort of places as ourselves in the table. So this is quite an important game, one that I feel we need to win or at least get a draw from. I think the expectations from the board was us to lose, which is fair enough because Liverpool are a very good side. But we're not in 6th for no reason. We're playing very well since I've changed the tactics into the final third for the passing into space. We seem to get more goals, which is what I wanted and I'm very happy with. But as you'll see over the course of some of the games, we've now become a bit leaky in defence. We're not as solid as what we were before. So it feels like you do tweak one place and it compromises in another. Such is Football Manager, when you make a tweak and then it obviously goes wrong at the other side. So that was a 1-0 win against Liverpool, which was absolutely brilliant. And then there was an overhead ball that just completely wiped out our defence when we played against Chelsea. So this game was full of goals, but we came out on the wrong side, unfortunately. But Chelsea are a team that are high in the table as well, so they're around 2nd or 3rd at this point. So the fact that we actually took them all the way, sort of thing, and managed to, even though we lost quite significantly, I feel we got quite a lot of goals, whereas in before it might have been a 1-0 or a 2-0. We're actually scoring, but like I say, we're conceding a lot more than I'd like. We were quite good in terms of goals conceded. We were like one of the top 3 teams, but that's been decimated in some of the upcoming games, as you'll see, where we've just conceded more than I'd like. So it's, again, maybe having a look at the tactics, having a look at what we're doing out of possession with the ball as well, because in the comments people have kindly pointed out there is tactics for when you're in possession and when you're out, and I had not realised that at all. So yeah, thank you for that help, and then I'll show you what I'll have a look at later on. And that was an amazing goal by Harry Gray. That was absolute belter from 25 yards out. So yes, it's a mixed January for us, to be fair. We win some, we lose some, and it's strange because when you got nothing in terms of spend for the transfer, it's kind of like, what do you look at, what do you do for the team? And my most important part as well is to keep hold of the players that we've currently got, because I feel we've got a good team that we can develop and we can bond to a cup winning team, definitely, because we got the players there for it, so why not? And I've learnt my lesson from last summer where we lost key players for a lot of money, and then lost a lot of the transfer because they were on 50% contracts to keep their contracts down. But now that I don't have to do that because the wage structure is in a much better place than when we first came to the Premier League. And yeah, like I say, it was a close game. It wasn't to be for us in this Chelsea game, and we lost 3-2. So yeah, conceded 3, which I wasn't very happy about. Then we came on to the first leg of the Carabao Cup, in the semi-finals against Tottenham, who aren't doing that well. They're towards the bottom of the table, but I think they're in good form recently. So to get something out of this game was quite important for us, especially going into the second leg with a 3-goal cushion is brilliant. So we could, if we can win that game or at least draw, then we're going to be making it to the final. But when I looked at the teams that are also playing in the other fixture, it's Arsenal or Man City that will be playing in the final, and I don't think we've managed to win against Man City at all. We've beat Arsenal, and it's probably lucky that we beat Arsenal. So it'll be, if we do get to the final, it'll be a very, very hard-fought contest, and it'd be good to win the trophy, because like I say, the only trophy we've won so far is that of the Championship when we won it 2 seasons ago. So yeah, watching the team pull apart Tottenham was very satisfying. I mean, we're playing very well together. Ben Doak has been absolutely brilliant. Melu, you'll notice that I've started him a bit more because he's in good form and he's setting up as well as getting goals and contributing to goals. I'm playing him as a channel midfielder at the moment. So normally I used to do 2 central midfielders, but Mayulu's strongest position is a channel midfielder. So because he plays on the left, I thought I'd help him and put him in his best position, and he seems to be rewarding us there with absolute great contributions and goals. So hopefully he might be one to watch, and he's still fairly young as well. And then we played Sunderland in the FA Cup, and it took us all the way to extra time, and this is just a terrible own goal from Drexler. You got to feel for him. It happens. I think that's my first own goal, and it was just so easy to concede, but we ended up getting knocked out of the FA Cup. I don't think I've had a good FA Cup run. Maybe last season when we reached the quarterfinals, but other than that, I've always been knocked out early in the FA Cup in comparison with the Carabao Cup, where we have such a strong presence there in that cup, and we've had lots of good cup runs. I mean, we had a final presence back 2 seasons ago as well, and we lost to Man City, so wasn't to be in the FA Cup, unfortunately. And then we went 1-0 to the good against Newcastle, who are also towards the top. They're league champions from last season, so they're current defenders, title defenders. So I knew this was going to be a tough game. And funnily enough, because we'd gone into the league and then had 2 cup games and then we'd come back to the league, a bit of repetition happens again. So we concede 3 and score 2. So I'm happy that we're scoring, but like I said before, conceding another 3 goals in the league, I just think, what's made our defence so leaky? Because I've not changed anything at all. I've only tweaked how we play in the final third. So it was a bit frustrating to see that we were such a solid team defensively to become in a matter of a few games one of the leakiest and conceding like silly goals, lots of goals. So I wonder if the pushing on to pass into space is like opening us up a little bit. So it'll be one that I'll have to have a look at. It's so good though, looking at this game tactically as well, because normally I just play with, as you've seen, I just play literally how the game throws at you. So making me look at the data center and making me look at the tactics a bit more, with the help of you guys as well, don't forget, is making me enjoy this game much more than I thought I would. And Mayulu, like I say, he's been absolutely brilliant in the last couple of games, and that's why he's starting over Leroux. But yeah, having that, trying to balance the tactics of finding what's good, what works, what doesn't, it's opening up new doors for me in this game. So yeah, it's one of those that I don't know why I've never done it like this before. So it's very, very, very interesting. And I think they've just done an update, and you'll see later on some of the update in terms of the user interface, which I'm still getting used to, because I can't find some of the things that I used to have a look at on older football managers. But I'm enjoying, and like I say, we're bringing in players, looking at different players as well to strengthen the team all the time as well, without any money. So hopefully, if we do qualify for Europe, it might mean that we get a bigger transfer budget than what we've had in the past. Because both seasons or 3 seasons that we've been in the Premier League, we've been given 40 million, but we've spent loads because we've sold. We've managed to sell players on a profit, bring players in, sell on a profit. So I'm picking young talent that we develop and then sell on. But now that I'm at a stage where I want to be challenging for Europe, it's quite important that we keep these players now because they're very, very important and very vital to get us in challenging and trying to push for trophies, because that's the aim of the save, is to become at least a decorated manager in terms of trophies, and I reckon I can do it. So yes, 2-2 with Newcastle, and then it wasn't to be, unfortunately. They turned up the gears again, and it was like I say, the second league game where we've conceded 3, so very frustrating. But these are teams that are challenging for the top 4, the Champions League places. So it's very difficult for us with this team, a young team without the experience, to even challenge them at the moment. It's just not realistic. And then we played Tottenham again in the league, and because we'd beat them 3-0, I was positive that we might get something out of this game as well and get us into winning ways, because we've lost both our league matches so far in January, and the team came out on top again. Honestly, Spurs not having a very good season, so to the point where I was actually looking at a few players, maybe having a look at if they were to be relegated or if they were at the foot of the table. Is there anyone that I can bring in if we do get those European places? Because some players will probably want to play continental European football. So I was looking at Archie Gray as a midfielding option, and I didn't realise I've actually got his brother Harry Gray. I didn't even clock on the fact that I've got his brother in the team, so I wonder if I can lean on that a bit, ask him if he knows if his brother wants to come and join us. But he was on quite a high wage, so, and he does cost a lot of money. I think I was quoted 100 million, so we've got nowhere near that budget at the moment, so it's a wish list. He's on the wish list because I think he'll be a very good midfielder, and he's English, so he adds to that homegrown talent that I need as well. But it depends where they finish as well. I mean, like I say, they're on the rise at the moment too, but it was funny that I was looking at those teams and having a look there. And same with Nottingham Forest. I was having a look at their team because they're at the foot of the table, or they're in the relegation places at the moment. And it was Elliot Anderson, another midfielder, but again, he's just out of our price range. It's almost ridiculous how much some of them cost. And I will show you later on a transfer that just absolutely shook me. That came from Chelsea to PSG. So we came triumphant from the Spurs game, and then we were on to Brighton next. And Brighton, I feel, are a good team, but again, they've not been finishing high up in the league recently. So I would have liked for us to have won this game, but overhead ball that just literally floated and dropped, and they scored in the last 10 minutes of the game to earn a draw, which I was again frustrated with because I didn't want to draw against them, wanted to win. So there was also a 0-0 against Aston Villa before that, so 2 draws on the bounce. And now the transfer window is closed. Haven't brought anybody in, but I have let a young player out on loan that I needed to go out on loan because I forgot about them in the summer. So like I say, it was Evan Ferguson, 170 million. I couldn't believe it, from Chelsea to PSG. I just can't compete with that at all at the moment. So no one brought in, but Aaron Stewart, who's one of our Scottish young players, has gone out on loan to Wigan. Because I'd missed him in the summer and I want him to get some game time to see how much he can develop and maybe sell on to get a bit of money. I was looking at Oscar Bob as well as a midfield option, and he joined Tottenham, and again, look at those wages and the price tag. So yeah, it wasn't to be for us, but we'll have a look in the summer to see how we can strengthen our team depending on where we stand, because if we do fall into the European places, we might be more attractive to players. That's my thinking. And look how close it is on the league table as well. So we're 4 points adrift from Chelsea, who are third, and then where is it, Leicester City, and then we're 5 points adrift from Leicester City in 14th. So there's a huge huge range where we could go up or down in the table. And then this is after the update, yesterday's update. So as you can see, there's a new view for the stages, which looks quite nice. I'll have a play around and see what they've updated in other aspects as well. I did read the update and what that entails. Like I say, we've got the Carabao Cup next, and there's Man City and Arsenal. If we do win, that's who we may face in the final. And this is the fixture list then. So the rest of February, we've got Spurs, Everton, Man United, Norwich, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Leicester and Sunderland. So again, I feel every game is a big game at the moment, just because I feel there's a lot riding on it. And then I looked at the data hub again, and look at that, our goals are going up. So we were in red, 0.8 last time we kind of checked that. So now we're in the orange and scoring a lot more goals than we were before. And I also found a really cool little data, again, delving deeper into my data. You can see goals, you can see assists, and you can see positions. So I was like, ooh, doing a lot of place shots, and then I put assists on. I wish I'd had a look before we'd even changed that pass into space option as the final third, because I feel maybe through balls have increased. Wishful thinking, but that might have been the case. So it's really interesting to see some of this, and like I say, I'm a bit of a data geek, so having a look at that data was just, yeah, it's great, it's fantastic. And the squad's looking great. I mean, Ben Doak is clearly our best player at the moment with 7 goals and 8 assists. He's doing a fantastic job on the right wing. Seni Meulu, he is also doing a really good job since he's been coming in, and him and Ben Doak keep setting one another up and scoring goals, so yeah, they're getting a bit of a bromance going on too. And Zimas, I'm quite happy with how he's played so far. 21 games, 6 goals. I mean, he played 10 games for his last season, 3 goals, so he's kind of doubled that in the same space of time, and I feel he's got more goals in him. At the age of 24, he's such a good striker for us. I'm really happy with that signing too, and like I say, Ben Doak is clearly having the best season with us out of his career so far. We seem to be just getting the best out of him, which is absolutely brilliant. Love him to bits. I think he's a really good player. And on loan, I forgot to show you a while back, Ian Holland, one of our very promising fullbacks, was injured for 3 months. So yeah, gutting, because he was probably playing very good with Bruges. But hopefully, when he comes back from injury, he can crack on again and get those games under his belt and have a good season and not get injured again. Luckily, I've not had people with a lot of injuries in my squad, but it was unfortunate that he was out for 3 months then. And Tim Drexler wanted a new contract, so I give him a 10 grand increase. So yeah, wage has gone down a little bit, but Tim Drexler, even though he scored that own goal, has been doing very well for us. And like I say, I'm constantly looking at how we can strengthen the team, and looking at a left back option at the moment, but I feel maybe in the summer it might be better. I did have a look at Aaron Hickey, but he joined Man United because he was on my radar as well, because he looked a good tidy player, but it wasn't to be, he wasn't to join us, and Manchester United had bought him for a good 40-50 million, so again, yeah. And then like I say, thanks in the comments, I've managed to find Get Stuck In, which increases the intensity of the squad and the play. But I feel Standard is doing quite a good job for us at the moment, and then I can easily stay on feet or get stuck in if I want to change that at all. So thank you again for pointing that out for me, and this is interesting that there's in possession and out of possession tactics. So yeah, I feel we got good balance at the moment. If we keep conceding 3 goals, I might have to have a look at this, because I don't want a leaky defence. Do not want that at all. So yeah, that's how we're looking. Team shape's looking great. Like I say, I put Meulu as a channel midfielder, which I think is working very well for us at the moment, because he's contributing and he's getting very good assists and goals within the games that he's been playing recently. So very happy with how the squad looks at the moment, and then if we can continue that, be absolutely great. So thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Stay cheeky.